Okay. Britta's asked us, why do coloured BIABs separate when they are sitting in the pot for so long? Which she's kind of hinted at it when they are sitting in the pot for so long.
True.
And the answer for why do they separate in the first place is a BIAB is a gel, and a coloured gel is made up of gel and colour. Colour being pigment. The pigment has a heavier molecular weight, if I can I say it fancy?
Yeah.
Okay. It has a heavier molecular weight. Basically, it's heavier, so it sinks because of gravity, and then it appears separated because they're not. One has sunk, one has stayed at the top. Your brush is going in. It's pulling them both out, but they're not together. They're two separate layers.
Yeah. And, what was I going to say? I had a thing when you said that. Oh. And it's in a volatile structure. We've used that word a few times throughout this course. And so volatile means basically it's moving. So a liquid is molecules that are bouncing really fast. Under a microscope, a liquid is a very active thing. And then an ice cream container is a very stable product. It's not moving, it's finished. So your finished nails are stable products. But everything before that, your gels and your liquids and all those things, they're all volatile. And so that means they're moving.
Yeah.
So that means that you can go in and down and around. And like, if you're a pigment, you can move amongst the oligomers. You're not stuck in a stationary position until those oligomers cure and tighten around you, the pigment. So, yeah.
To answer Riddimer's question, it only happens with coloured BIABs. It's just because with enough time, those pigments are slowly sinking, and then they've sunk and they've moved away from the gel.
Yeah. And some brands, like Artistic Colour Gloss, they advertise, I think it's like colour suspension technology, or like some fancy way of basically saying that they've developed a product that takes a really freaking long time to separate.
Yeah.
But all products will separate until cured.
Yeah. Yeah. I inherited my nana was a nail tech like 30 years ago. I inherited her cal gels, so like in real old school, like 3 minutes in a CFL potted lamp, and I got them after they were beautifully like stored for like 17 years, and I got them and they were so separated. All of the pigment was like silt at the bottom of the ocean, just like this perfect glass clear layer, and then this pigment down the bottom. So it's just time. They've just had time.
And pigment's heavy.
Yeah.
And gel is moving.
Yeah. Different weights. So how do you mix them back together?
Well, the iMix is great.
What is the iMix, Penny? Tell us more.
The iMix is a little machine that we sell, and I'll put a picture of it on the screen, but it's a little machine that uses a magnet inside the bottle to safely mix the product, and it's really good. I know that some of our colleagues use them as well. Personally, I find that I'm busy enough that I don't really have many of my products settle anymore. It's quite rare for me to have something settle, but so the iMix is wonderful, and it does a really good professional mix of a product. But obviously not everybody has an iMix, so there are definitely ways to do it yourself. The number one thing is do not shake the bottle. You don't want air in your gel, and the way that gravity works is that in your bottle there's air at the top, right? Like, that makes sense. There's air at the top and the gel's at the bottom. Well, when you shake, you are pulling the air from the top down into the gel, and then like you're mixing the air into the gel. And with any product, like normal traditional polish, all those, if you pull air into a product that is not supposed to be full of air, that air will then try to escape again. Like, over time, bubbles will pop out of the surface. It is going to change and thicken the structure of the product. So we don't recommend that you shake any gel. What we usually recommend is that you roll it, and the reason that this works better than shaking it is because it leaves the air at the top. So the product mixes, but it mixes by going around
it only touches itself to mix.
It touches itself. It goes around the edges of the bottle, and it becomes like a vortex kind of thing where like it goes around the edges, leaving something like this at the top, and all the air stays there and the air doesn't get pulled down into the gel. The iMix does that with a magnet to be like a spoon, and does that for you, so it does it really well. But then Erin had a really good tip for making that rolling method work even better.
Because I wouldn't even try to shake a BIAB because they're so viscous, they're so thick. They're not moving around like water, like a cocktail shaker. Like, they're not moving. You're going to be shaking that thing forever, causing damage along the way, so don't do it. But it's just really inefficient. So to help it mix faster, you want a lower viscosity, meaning you want a thinner gel. To make your gel thinner, not permanently, you want a warmer gel. So to get it like super, super, super warm, like you couldn't work with it warm, I get a little bowl or a teacup, and I boil a kettle and pop my bottle in like a teacup, and then I fill it up, not just to cover up to here, just to cover like the body of the bottle, and you're getting it really, really warm. I know boiling water sounds hazardous, but because it's in a little open teacup, it cools down really fast, so you're actually still getting it only warm, not hot. So I really don't think it's damaging to the gel, but I'm more than happy to be corrected. But I've done this many a time, and my gels go back to being perfect like consistency. There's nothing wrong with them. Basically it thins it out, and then I roll it, and it rolls like butter, like water.
Melted butter.
Yeah, like melted butter. Like, you go like this with it, and it mixes in a matter of seconds, to be honest. That's also a great trick to warm it up, to get out leftover builder in a bottle out of your bottle. Often the brush doesn't reach the bottom, and there's tons left in there. I swear there's tons. Warming it up and tipping it out into another bottle, or like a little little bottle. Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is that I would keep that as a rare thing that you do, because gel likes to be at a consistent temperature. It doesn't even really like if you live in a country where you have massive temperature extremes, like in Canada, it doesn't that's why people say you keep traditional polish in the fridge, because it's got consistent temperature and light source, and those are the two things that our products don't like, is changing light and changing heat or temperature in general. So I think that what Erin's recommending would work really, really well, but I wouldn't do it like more than once to the same bottle.
Yeah. I've done it on the rare occasion. I think it was one builder gel that sat in my drawer for like 18 months. And that's the only time it's separated, to be honest, because for most products you buy them beautifully mixed and then you use them. Like,
none of my builder gels have ever separated. I know we've seen this question a few times, so we know that they do separate, but none of mine have separated. But I go through like at least a bottle a month. Sometimes in summer probably a bottle every 2.5 weeks.
So it's not a massive issue. It shouldn't be like your daily struggle to keep your builder gels mixed. But to be honest, if my product did separate, I would actually stir it with a easy to clean non-porous tool, so like a stylus tool or a very skinny little spatula, and I would just put it in and stir it. So like what the iMix's magnet does, you're just putting a tool in and stirring and manually mixing it.
And the only thing I'll add to that is that I saw, when we were researching this module, I saw one person comment when we were collecting questions that when they do that, their advice to another student was to make sure that you scrape the bottom, because that's where the pigment is. And I need to say, make sure you don't scrape the bottom, because for example, in hard gel, the artistic hard gel is in a really pretty clear pot, but clear would allow the hard gel to cure, so there is a black insert in the clear pot that prevents UV light from curing it. When you scrape the bottom, if you're stirring with a stylus, you get little bits of black all through the all through the hard gel. So if you are stirring like that, I saw someone recommend that you make sure to scrape the bottom, and I would say make sure not to.
I found that out the hard way with my super old cow gels, because could see literally that the pigment was all at the bottom. So yes, you need to get to the bottom to get to the pigment. Stirring the top isn't going to do anything if all the colour's down there. But I also had bits of black flecks all through my pretty coloured gels. So get to the bottom, but don't scrape the bottom.
And I like stirring with a stylus, not a cuticle pusher, because the rounded ball tip on the end is more gentle on the surface.
Yeah, but you do need to get to the pigment to mix the pigment back in, but it will ruin your gel.